Hey everybody, this is Rich Hayden. I hope you're doing well today. It's the 20th of September 2022, and I want to talk about a topic that is kind of all around us if you're paying attention to kind of anything financial right now, and that has to do with interest rates, inflation, the cost of consumer debt, credit cards, car loans, you name it. Everything's a bit more expensive today than it was a year ago. I don't think there's any question in anybody's mind about that, right? So I'm going to take a real quick, just a super nerdy look for you at what things look like in the interest rate market, and why this is valuable. And to many of you, this means nothing. But if you're a client of mine, you've probably seen a chart like this more than once. And this chart basically details, hey, this is the cost of a mortgage-backed security, and your mortgage is tied to this thing, right? This chart. The higher we are on the chart, the lower that interest rates are. The lower we are on this chart, the higher that interest rates are. So if you go back over a 2-year period, there's 2 years ago today, the price or the value of that mortgage-backed security was a whole lot more then than it is today in September of 2020. And you can go back to September of 2020 right now, and you could say, hey, interest rates were 2.5% for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and today they're 6.25% potentially, depending upon your situation. So no doubt that a mortgage itself is more expensive. But the other thing that's more expensive and probably even more problematic is consumer debt. And that's credit cards, car loans, student loans, unsecured loans. The idea of buy now, pay later, right? You see that is turning into something. So you just Google household debt in the United States, and the thing that you're going to come up with is that costs are rising. And there's a very real impact to families. So what can you do if you're in this situation? Well, first off, you can do, a big suggestion, go to Vertex 42 and download their tool called the Debt Reduction Calculator. All right, it's a nifty little spreadsheet. I've paid attention to this. I've shared it with clients for probably 15 years. There's nothing new here. If you follow Dave Ramsey, there's a lot of stuff about Dave that I think is, kind of off the wall, but the one thing that he talks about that I believe he gets right is the idea of a debt snowball, right, and how to pay debt off. So that's your step one if you're working through some consumer debt issues. The second step is, if you're a client of mine, you receive HomeBot on a monthly basis, and this is a digest that's going to show you, hey, your mortgage is at this level, at this interest rate, and your house is worth whatever it is. So X and Y, and then X minus Y equals your equity, which is, the value minus the loan amount, the balance that we see it as, and that's the equity you have in the house. And historically, we might look at things and say, hey, if you got a bunch of debts, on average, you can go back through here, and this is a great tool, mortgagecalculator.org. Plug in a variety of whatever your liabilities are on a monthly basis with their payment. It's going to tell you, hey, this is kind of what you're looking at to pay this stuff off. And, do you do minimum payments or do you pay more? And it will let you know based on that, hey, if you got $8,000 on card 1, $12,000 on card 2, and $5,000 on card 3, between 18, 12, and 13% on those three, you're going to have payments that are what? $320, $480, that's $800, $1,000 a month to credit cards, and you're not even necessarily making that much headway on it. And then if you had an average car loan for a new car at $43,000, and the payment on that guy was $677 a month, which is in fact the average loan and the average car payment in the U.S., you've got a pretty good nut that you got to hit every single month. And again, historically, you might have gone and refinanced your home and pulled some equity out and fenced in that debt and seen a better day ahead. But with rates where they are today, in the low sixes, high fives, compared to, this is an example of a client I helped last year at 2.888%. You're hard pressed to let go of that rate, right? So what you can consider is a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan. And why I'm sharing this with you is not to say, hey, come and get a HELOC or come and get a home equity loan, but it's really to, take a holistic view of where you are financially and make sure that you're utilizing the tools that are available to you so that you, those that you live with, whether they be family, friends, extended family, whoever, right, that you kind of collectively within your household are on the right track. And in this HomeBot Digest that you get monthly, if you scroll down, it'll tell you, hey, you've got a good chunk of money in your home, and you can use that for a variety of things. So you've got in this case, they've got $410,000 worth of equity. If they had, $30,000 worth of credit card debt or $16,000 worth of credit card debt, they could take a home equity loan or home equity line of credit and address that, put a fence around that debt, eliminate the revolving nature of the credit card, and set themselves potentially on a better course. Now, there's some discipline. It's got to be the right tool. Like any financial transaction, you should slow down, take a look at everything, understand how it works, and then proceed from there, either in taking action or not, and seeking some other course. So I just wanted to share this with you. Times are tough out there. They're not necessarily going to be getting better in the super near future, but we do have brighter economic days ahead. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get through it. I hope you find this helpful. Please share this with people. Hit the subscribe, the like button, everything within the YouTube that this video is with. And then also, if you've got a friend that would like to have this conversation or wants to have their information shared in HomeBot, please connect me with them or share the HomeBot link with them so that they can get in there and then kind of get their mortgage under management, if you will, so that we can give them the same level of support that we're giving you. Hope you find it helpful. Again, Rich Hayden, Hayden Home Mortgage, 703-957-0790. I appreciate you. Take care.